Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Giants Deep. Now, let me think this. How do I describe it? So when you look at the actual puzzle and the drawing of it, it really doesn't seem to make sense. However, when I sort of did a bit of reading, because some of the different clues or variants that are on there have different names, not just the colors. So I am kind of making a guess that gUBBLOR, who is the constructor of today's puzzle, is actually talking about a game called Outer World. And it's the second time or third time I'm actually playing a puzzle that may be referencing this game. I probably at some point should actually play it, given everyone seems to be commending it and commemorating it, I guess, as well in Sudoku puzzles. So, given we're talking about presumably Outer World, Giants Deep is this huge ocean with, like a coral in the center, filled with bad weather and turbulence and cyclones and tornadoes. And here is Sleuth escaping all of that by staying underwater, submerged in his submarine, looking, very, very fitting in the kind of the captain's chair there and navigating around. Anyhow, let's take a look at today's puzzle and see what Outer World has in store for us with Giants Deep by gUBBLOR. So, I mean, immediately I'm going to say apologies for the extremely small font and remind you that if you want to take a look at the actual text, obviously there's a link for you to play the puzzle, but in the description down below is all of the details around the rules. Now, one of the reasons I was sort of suspicious of this is if you look at this blue line, gUBBLOR is calling it a tornado/blue line. The quantum crystal, I didn't quite get that one. The rest of it I wasn't too sure. But I'm hoping that my guess is correct. I'm sure he will let us know in the comments at some point. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Then we have Kropki dots. A black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2:1 ratio, and not all dots are shown. So this cell here could be, if this is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that one cell is double the other. This 2 with a 4 in here and a 1 in there, no black dot between them, despite 4 being double the 2, that's fine because there is no negative constraints. Adjacent cells connected with an X must sum up to 10. So if this cell here is a 3, this would have to be 7 to make sure that these two cells add up to 10. And once again, not all X's are shown. That 4 having a 6 next to it and these two cells clearly adding up to 10 is also not an issue because of this. There's no negative constraints. Dutch whispers, you are largely familiar with these. So on the Gabbro/orange lines, adjacent digits along each Dutch whisper line must have a difference of at least 4. And digits may repeat on the line. So let's say that this cell here is a 2. This could be 6, 7, 8, 9. This cell could be 6, 7, 8, 9. Obviously not quite on a black Kropki dot, but you get it. If you have a low digit, it'll be surrounded by high digits. Not normally always true on a Dutch whisper line because you can have, of course, a middling digit like a 5 and have it surrounded by 1s and 9s and all sorts of shenanigans. So, unlike the Dutch whisper line, the green whisper, which is Flute/green line, so I see now. So this is the character lying down on a hammock. He's playing a flute, despite the fact that there are tornadoes up and above. Okay. So German whisper, the Flute/green line, adjacent digits along the green German whisper line must have a difference of at least 5. So if this cell here was a 3, this would have to be 8 or 9. And if this is an 8, this would have to be from 1, 2, or 3. And you can see the classic oscillation of German whispers between low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, and low digits again. No 5s on a German whisper line. No prizes for determining why that's true. The slow thermometer/hammock, so digits along the thermometer must not decrease starting from the bulb end. What really gUBBLOR is saying is that it doesn't necessarily have to increase. If that cell here is a 1, nothing wrong with having a 1 in here. I could go 2, 4. What I cannot do is actually decrease at any point. So can't go 1, 2, 4 and then go back down to 3. That doesn't work. It has to be increasing, or I guess staying the same, from the thermometer bulb end all the way through to the very end. We have region sum line, so tornado / blue line. Digits along the region sum line have the same sum within each box of the line passing through. So if this cell here was 8, this would have to be 8, and then these 3 cells would have to sum up to 8, again 8, again 8. Remban, so the quantum crystals / pink line at the bottom. Digits along each Remban line must be a set of consecutive digits in any order and must not repeat. If that's a 2, for example, this would have to be a 1, 3, so that it is 1, 2, 3 and consecutive. It could be in any order, as in this could be the 3, this could be the 1. I'm really struggling with typing today. Of course, it doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3. As long as they're consecutive, we're fine. 2, 3, 4 is good. What I couldn't do is have 2, 3, 5. They're no longer consecutive. So that's all the rules that we have for today. I know I am playing a gUBBLOR puzzle. Don't worry. I feel personally disconcerted if I'm not playing one of his equality cages or any of his series for the weekend, so I'm still planning one anyway. It's got a 94% rating. So either people really, really like the puzzle, or they also really, really like the game and the kind of homage that gUBBLOR here has paid to it. Regardless, link in the description down below as usual for you to play along. Visit Giant Steep, jump into the submarine, all of that. And with that said, I am going to go and check on the door because somebody is knocking, even though there's a sign that says, please don't knock. Give me a second, please. Right, so what I meant to say is, with all that said, time to restart the clock and see how I get on. Right, where am I starting? Yeah, so I'll tell you that region sum line, 3 cells means that at a minimum, I have to add up to, so, sorry, I'm really not finishing the sentence correctly here. This cell here is at least 6. Because this region sum line, and every section in here has to add up to the same digit, is a minimum of 3 cells, which is a minimum of 1, 2, 3, or a 6. So on a black Kropki dot, so this is 6 or 8. And as a result, this cell here, which is the same, is also 6 or 8. If that's a 6, that would be 3. If that's an 8, that would be 4. 6 and 3 means that these will be 1, 2. Looks fine to me. 8 with a 4, that would have to be 1, 3. So there's always a 1 in here. Now, regardless of whether you're adding up 6 or 8, there has to be a 1 on the 3 cells. So the 1 in here means that there is a 1 in there as well. And my options are, if this is 1, 3, 4, because it's adding up to 8, let me just think about my options. Hang on, let me just think. 1, 2, 3 breaks the 6. Because 6 in 2 cells is either 1, 5, which it isn't because the 1 is used, or it's 2, 4, which it wouldn't be because it'll be 1, 2, 3. So that is just an 8. And therefore this is a 4. This is 1, 3. This is, well, actually, hang on, let me think about these 2 cells. So 2 cells that add up to 8, and they're not 1, 7, and they're not 3, 5. They're 2, 6. So my options now are 1, 5, and 2 to get to 8. Is that correct? Yep, that's one way. Another way is 1, 3, 4. So 1, 3, and 4. That all looks possible at the moment. I've used all the low digits, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in here. That's got to be a high digit. It is not 6 or 8. It is 7 or 9, which means that this is a low digit. This can't be a 9 because it's on a black Kropki dot. The maximum is an 8. So this is limited to 1, 2, 3. And on this side, it's 6 or 8. On a Dutch whisper line, you can actually have a 6 with 2 cells coming up to it because you can have a neighbor of 1, 2. With an 8, though, obviously these can go all the way up to 3 and 4. I can have 8 and 9 as well as 3 and 4 on a Dutch whisper line. 6 and 8 in here gives me another 3, 4. This is going okay. 8 means there's an 8 in here. There's also a 5 in there. Let me just think. What else have I got? What is this cell? It's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 6. I think this is 4, 8. Yeah, can't be 1 or 2 or 3, 6. It's got to be 4, 8. That is not an 8. That is an 8. That means these are 5, 7, 9. You know, because of that loose 7, 9 in here. I'm not going to necessarily pencil mark these. Yeah, definitely not going to pencil mark these. Let me think. Where am I going next? Dutch Whispers. I always approach Dutch Whispers. I can speak and type with almost a bit of apprehension. Yeah, let's go for the long, slow thermo. So lowest this can be is 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 again. So there's 2 degrees of freedom in here. Except that's not an 8, so I've actually lost one of my degrees of freedom already. 4, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Not entirely sure where I'm going from here. Feels like kind of all the lines are pointing you back towards the 5. Sorry, box 5, I mean. So let me just think about this for a second. Oh, better still. Yeah, much better. Let's think about row 6. Where does 5 go in here? It's not there. It's not there. It's not on black Kropki dots, otherwise the counterpart will be 2.5 or 10, none of which is allowed. No 5 in here either. No 5 there. You can have 5 on a Dutch Whisper line with 1 and 9. Just happens to be that it can't be a 9 with 6 and 8 in here. So no 5 there. So 5 is in one of these 2 cells. If this is a 5, I'm going to show you now, that's not going to work. Because essentially I need 1 and 9 around it. And none of that is gonna work. So let me, you can have a 1 in here, sure. You can have a 1 in here. Well, 9 on a black Kropki dot, that's not going to work. Right, so the 5 is definitely in here. No 5s, no 5s, no 5s. 5 is in one of these cells. 5 with 1 and 9, yeah, possible. And then, of course, 5 and 5. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Sorry, Sleuth, pay attention. 5 can only have 1 or 9 on a Dutch Whisper line. That is a 1. I've already established it's not a 9 or a black Kropki dot. That's 1. That's 2. That forces this to be a 1. This is not a 2 or a 1. That's 3, 4. I don't think this can be 6 anymore. Yep, 3 is only 3 away. So that is definitely 8. That is definitely 4. It does mean that I haven't really... Well, I've removed the 4 in here because of this 4. But the rest of it, and the 1 because of this 1. But the rest of it is indeed allowed. Right, 1 and 2 and 4. This surely is a 3, 6 line. Can't be anything else. It's not 1, 2, 4, or 8. So that is not a 3, that is a 4. This is a 1. This has to be a high digit, which means this has to be a low digit. No 5s in either of these, thankfully, because of this 5. So this is, I said high, therefore this is low, this is high. This is 1 or 2, it is not a 1. That's a 2, that is not a 2. This has to be a high digit. It is not 6 or 8, it is 7 or 9 again. Interesting. That 2 gives me the 6 and 2 up there. That 3 gave me the 1 and 3 as well. 7, 9 pairs. I kind of know the rest of this, but we'll just sort this one out first. So this could be, I think it can actually be a 7. So this is another 7, 9, and this is the 5. And I wasn't awake. That 3 gave me a 1 as well. And that 4 gives me a 3, which gives me a 2, which gives me a 1. 4, 5. 5 gives me a 6, 7. Huh. So yeah, I've lost a degree of freedom because of the 8. I don't know whether they're 8 or 9. Okay. So this is 7, 8, 9. It's not a 7. It's not an 8. 7 is too close to the 4, and it's not an 8. That is a 9, which makes this an 8, which makes this a 7, which also makes this an 8, 8. That 7 makes this a 9. makes this a 7, which is allowed next to the 1. This is not a 2, it's a 3. Lovely. That 4-5 is still not known, but that black Kropki dot will help me. That's 4-8 to complete the column. That's a 5. Can't be a 4 on this Remban, because the neighbors 3 and 5 are not available. That has to be an 8. That has to be the 4. This has to be 7, 9. It can't go lower because of the 6. That 7 tells me that's the 9. That's the 7. These are 1 and 2. That 1 gives me an order. That is not a 7. That is 5, 9. Excellent. Have I resolved these yet? I must have, surely. No, the 5 is still allowed in here. So 1, 2, 5 still is allowed. No, it's not. 2 gives me a 4, which makes this a 1, 3, 4 setup. 1 gives me the 3 and 1. So the rest of this is 5, 7, 9. Okay. Can do that. What else can I do? 1 and 2 in here. So this is either 3, 7 or 4, 6. The 3 and 7, neither of which can be in this cell. This is 4, 6, and that 4 gives me an order. These are now 3, which is not on either of these cells, and 7, 9, which allows me to write in a digit, which is a 6. These are now 2, 5, and 7. Can't have a 5 on an X ever because that would require a second 5. If that's 2, that would be 8, which is not. That is a 7. That is a 3. And we're kind of breathing through this. Now that's starting to feel more like a 1-star difficulty puzzle. That 2 is giving me a 5 and 2 here, 7. That 5 removes a 5 from up there. I have anything else? No. These cells are 4, 9. If that's a 9, that would have to be a 1, which is not. It is 4, 6, 9. This is not 1, 2, 3. So this is 4, 6. That 4 gives me an order again. 6. 8 is on this side, but it's here because of this 8. Then I need 7, which can only be in here. And then 5 and 3. 3 gives me 3 and 5. Lovely. Black Kropki dot, surely 1, 2. Yep, has to be 1, 2. That's 1, that's 2. I need 3. Can only be in here because of this 3. I need 5 and 9. That's the 5. That's the 9. I mean, I've literally got a 9 adjacent to help me here very easily. That 7 and 9 is not resolved. Nor are these. Surely that 4, 8 is. Yep, it is. And I know what this digit is. Just takes me a long time to see it. Sometimes 2. 1 is neither of these cells. That's 1. These 2 are 5 and 7. I think 7 means that's the 5. That's the... You know what I meant. That's the 9. That's a 5. 5, 7, 9. And then 6. Down to the last... Okay, actually, hang on. 7 gives me 9 and 7. And then the last box, I've got a 2 in here. 5 somewhere in these 2. Yep, it's here. 6. And if I've not made any mistakes, 9 for the finish. It's a lovely puzzle, gUBBLOR. Kind of half tempted to double check is if the protagonist, kind of the hero of the game, is indeed called Gabbro and, you know, goes to Giant's Deep, lies down on a hammock, plays flutes whilst tornadoes are soaring above. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.